recording now. Well, welcome to another fun episode of Rock and Roll Confessional. It's me, CW West.
Hi, CW. It's me, Rita Wild.
Hello, everyone. So we are filling in for ourselves, who had a fabulous show, and we were asked to postpone it, so we kindly did that, but we didn't have a backup yet. So we're kind of filling in with some of our stories today, because last time we did it, actually, there was a lot of people that said, oh, you guys got some really good stories. Why don't you do it again? So looky here. It's a beautiful opportunity. And Rita's just sitting at home doing what, Rita?
I am doing nothing.
Aren't you healing?
Oh, I'm healing. Yeah.
What'd you do? Tell everyone what you did. We can laugh now, can't we?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I can laugh now. I just got back from the doctor yesterday, and then they were like twisting it to make sure I didn't tear any ligaments.
What'd you do?
I was actually getting ready to leave for Phoenix. I was going to go see my family. It was going to be a nice little family reunion. And I finished everything that I needed to do, was going down the stairs, had my luggage, my bag, and about 2 steps before the landing, my feet buckled like that, which they've done in the past. I mean, it's something that, I've done before, and same leg, but that was, many years ago.
They both buckled at the same time?
They both buckled at the same time. I'm suspicious of the shoes. You ever have those thoughts when it's like, you shouldn't wear those shoes. And then it's like, I got to listen to that, because twice that message came into my brain. It's like, nah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Go with your gut.
And sure enough, I just face planted, and I have a severe sprain on the right ankle, right ankle, not right hand.
Let's not add problems to what you've already got.
The hands are fine, which is, it's amazing, because, when you fall, you usually fall like that. And the left one is fractured in 3 places, 2 around the ankle, on the front side and back side of the ankle, and then also up right before the knee. And so the doctor yesterday, I was thinking, he goes, I can't believe you didn't tear any ligaments, because where you fell exactly, or where you have the fracture on the top part of your leg, is usually where the ligament damage ends. You have it first in the ankle, then it goes, the ending of that is right at the space right where you fell. So that's why, he could, yeah. So, it's been a little painful, but it's like the first couple of days I was fine. I mean, it was sore. I could tell something had happened to it. 'Cause you can just tell by the colors,
The pretty purple and blue and green.
Oh my God.
And yellow.
Oh my God. It was just like
gangrene setting in.
I didn't see black, so that was good.
Okay.
But and plus usually if you break something, they don't go right away. They won't fit you with a cast right away. So it's like,
let the swelling go down a little bit.
Yeah. And I was, in a little bit of pain, but Tylenol and Advil were working absolutely fine. And, after 3-4 days, nothing, it wasn't disappearing. So it was like, yeah, I better go get this checked out. And then you go to the emergency room to say, and they said, oh, what'd you do? So I'm explaining what I did. How I graciously didn't take the trip I was scheduled to take, but I took another trip down the stairs.
Yeah. Shorter trip. Longer reward.
Oh God. She was feeling my left leg, left ankle area. And she goes, you feel anything? I go, yeah. She goes, I'm just trying to find a pulse. And I was thinking, oh God, the first day I had ice on it for like 12 hours straight.
You froze your foot.
They're going to have to amputate it.
Oh my God.
The stupid things that run around in your brain. But then, no, they found it and, did x-rays. And, then I had, yesterday morning. It was 2 weeks ago today that I fell. So
was yesterday your second cast?
Yes. The first cast was kind of like a soft cast. And this one is like this really badass boot. It's got like about probably a 25, 30 pound bottom on it. It feels like when I'm lifting up my leg, it's like,
God,
I feel like I could go to a bank, knock in a vault door, and if I
kick some ass. You go to Sturgis and take down some people.
Nah, no, I'm going to Sturgis. Are you kidding? The way I'm walking now, at least I'm walking. And like I said, the very fortunate thing is I didn't tear any ligaments, and that was what they were really concerned about.
Well, I'm glad you're doing better. That's the good news. So time will heal.
And you?
I'm just hanging, man. I'm just cruising. Just trying to get some shows going. Anyway, over the summer, Rita and I, one of the things we got to do together for a brief moment was go to the Pacific Amphitheater, which is a venue down in Orange County. And two of the bands allowed us to go on stage and introduce or say hi to the crowd. So the venue holds about 9,000 people, and we always thank the Pacific Amphitheater for helping coordinate it. But I thought one of the things we talk about today is, that event, but then also kind of some backstage and concert stuff that we had been through in our career, because there's always stories there. But I thought it was interesting, Reitz, because, we originally I was going to have you go on stage the first one was X with Los Lobos. And originally I was going to have you go on stage because nobody knows me, because I was always been the guy that's behind the scenes of everything. But I know you needed a little support dog with you.
Thank you.
So I went up there, and the first time we did it, it was not as professional, I think, as we liked it, but it was fun. But I think what was interesting is we showed up, early for the show, and we were going to go on right before X. And so we're standing on the side of the stage, and we had met with X's manager, and we'd gone over, here are the rules. You can say this, you can't say this, you can do this, you can't do this. So they kind of run down this list of rules of things you can do and say and not say. So we're standing on the stage, and John Doe comes out, and he's looking at us, and he didn't remember us from when we interviewed him. What was it? It was like a year ago.
Yeah, about a year ago.
But he's like, all of a sudden, we're on the side of the stage, we're getting ready to go out. We're waiting for the sound guys to hand us the microphone. And John comes up and goes, "So what are you guys doing here?" And we start going, "Well, we're here for the podcast, and we're just going to promote it and say hi to everybody and welcome the crowd." And he's like, "Okay, here are the rules." And we're like,
he didn't know about it, or at least he said he didn't. But I'm, everything behind the scene was approved of.
Yes.
And
the manager, they know what's going on. The managers know what's going on, and they don't always tell the band because the band doesn't need to know everything that's going on. But John came out, and John's, very in touch with what's going on. So he starts asking us, and we're trying to explain, here's what we're doing. We know what to do. And he's like, "Well, you can't say this." We go, "We know we can't say this and that, And then we get handed the microphone, and it's kind of like we have like 60 seconds to go do this, and John's still talking to us, and we're like, "Well, we need to get out there," but we're trying to explain to John that we know the rules, but keep him calm. Like, we're not going to do anything stupid out there. Yeah. But it was really funny because it did take about another 30 seconds, and they're like going, "Get on stage," and we're like, "It's John Doe. We got to talk to him because it's his show." So
no, it was funny too. I mean, we had like I had like a not a long rambling thing, but just because it'd been so long since I'd been to the Pacific Amphitheater, and just getting back there, it was like, oh man, this is the place where I met Neil Peart of Rush. We did like a listener party up there, and I'm pointing. I don't know if I was telling you about it, or Aerosmith. We had like Aerosmith right over here, and we were doing stuff with them. Guns N' Roses. I mean, it was just like, these memories were just flooding back to me. And it was just like, cause it's always been a very convenient, lovely, lovely place. I love it. Mm-hmm. And, the sound is great too. But then, I was thinking about it from John's perspective, because the band had not played for probably about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And this was like their first show, and it was sold out. I mean, because he had the Blasters on first, and they did great. And Los Lobos, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So they were a little bit nervous, and, hopefully they did a great show. So
yeah, it all turned out. It was a really good show. We had a really fun time. We thanked them, thanked management, thanked Pacific Amphitheater again, Lisa J, the whole crew down there. But yeah, it was fun. And then we got to do it again for the Goo Goo Dolls, which was almost the last show of the season. We did the first show and almost the last show. I think they had one other, but it might not have been an official show. And that one was totally fine. I know I did better speaking out there.
You did great, because it was like, I mean, you're starting to do a little stand-up comedy. It's like, well, who is this guy?
Well, I figure we got to
get out the jokes.
We got 60 seconds or whatever, a minute or two. We got to go out there and do something exciting. So, I mean, again, I have nothing to flaunt. You have your whole history, so you can just say your name and everybody knows who you are. Everybody claps. I show up out there and they're going, "What the fuck is this guy? Who brought the monkey?" So, so I figure, well, I'll go out and tell a joke or something like that. So it's somewhere on Instagram. I think it's on our website too. Both of us doing that.
The subject matter was just amazing. Llamas.
Oh, well, okay. So I don't. So it's still kind of a weird subject, but anyway, real briefly. So it's a regular amphitheater, and there used to be a huge lawn area, but they had to knock off the lawn because of the housing that's around the amphitheater. It got too loud with too many people inside the venue, so they took away the lawn. But for whatever reason, they put llamas and alpacas
that's what it was. Yeah.
Onto the lawn. So the bands are playing, and you just look up on the lawn up there that used to have people, and there's like these alpacas that are just standing up there feeding. So anyway, I made some stupid alpaca joke, and not like I know a lot of alpaca jokes, but anyway, it was.
But at least you know the difference between a llama and an alpaca. That's pretty good.
I don't know if I really do.
Okay. Well, it was like, oh, CW, you do stand up, man. Come on. That's good stuff.
Got to keep them entertained out there, Got to try to top the Goo Goo Dolls, but couldn't top Johnny.
No, they're such a great band. So many great songs.
So,
sounded awesome.
But I was thinking, like, what are some of the other cool backstage or on stage things? I know that I think you and I, one of the first things that you did. I mean, I was there to support you and get you where you needed to go, but I didn't go on stage. But I'm pretty sure you remember it. It had to have been 83, and it was the 4 nights of Iron Maiden at the Long Beach Arena.
I think I did 2 of the 4, but my ears, my God, they still haven't recovered. That was one of the loudest shows I have ever been to. And the other one was probably AC/DC on the For Those About to Rock tour, because I had the exploding
cannons,
which I was right near.
Jesus.
But yeah, so that was it was cool because Long Beach Arena, is one of those places that I'd still love to see shows there, because it's only about 10,000, 11,000, 12,000 people, maybe. It was like a really small, intimate place when you think of all the gigantic places these days. But yeah, did that when I was with KZY. Did a lot of stuff at Irvine Meadows. So I got to do a lot of great shows back there, and then interview the bands. A lot of them before they went on stage.
I forgot, because we used to do broadcasts from like backstage and stuff, and then
at Pacific Amphitheater, KLOS did. Yeah.
I forgot those. Yeah. So what, do you remember any of the crazier times?
Let's see.
Did you do Guns N' Roses at Pacific Amphitheater, like one of the last shows? Were you at that
I was at
broadcast?
The show. I thought it was the broadcast, but I didn't introduce.
Yeah, but
that may
that was
been
when
Joe.
Duff and Slash were slightly, I know this is going to be hard to believe, but inebriated when they came to I think they were so on their last toes, and this was before the gates even opened to the show, but they showed up there and they were they were who you think they used to be. So
yeah, but they're not now.
No, not at all. And I'm not trying to diss them at all. It was just, it was disturbingly entertaining, kind of, in a way. It was just like, but it's something that was expected back then too. So, we kind of thought, well, they could show up and they might be, have had a few drinks. So, but I was thinking, some of the different ones and some of the things we used to do. And in fact, you mentioned AC/DC, which I was just thinking some of the different shows when we went backstage, you know, usually you had to have a reason to be backstage. Like when we were at the Pacific Amphitheater this year, especially for the Goo Goo Dolls, there was nobody, and I kid you not, nobody backstage. There was the band team. Yeah. And it was the quarantine, but it was the band's call, and there was us and basically the Pacific Amphitheater people, and then whoever was there with the bands. And that was it. And as soon as we were done on stage, they like escorted us, you know, back into the audience and said, you know, thanks for coming. But, you know, there's been other times, and I think it was Razor's Edge tour for AC/DC. And again, that was at Long Beach Arena. But that was one of those ones where after the show, you know, they had this huge room and they just packed it with people. You know, they had the record company people, they had friends, family. You know, when you get to LA, everybody knows everybody, and everybody has to be backstage. And I just remember, and the band was cool because sometimes there's these parties and the band doesn't even show up. But I remember that one, and I remember going up to Brian, and you know, he signed something for me. I forget what it was, and then went up to Angus, and he signed something, and you know, all the band was there, and they were really cool about interacting and things like that. A lot of times there'll be these big parties, and it's just a party to have a party because the band isn't really ever show up.
I mean, if you saw the movie, the Motley Crue movie on Netflix, I mean, that was like the early 80s, and I didn't see all the stuff that I saw in the film live, but there was a lot of stuff that was like, yeah, it's pretty accurate, you know? It's like, some of it was. But I think probably the biggest crowd I was ever in front of was probably, what's that other, Glen Helen Regional Amphitheater. I think it was one of the KLOS shows, whether it was the Black Crows or
ZZ Top.
ZZ Top, yeah. I got to say hey, and that's like 60,000 people. I mean, I think we had all the jocks on stage at that time, but that's kind of a rush, you know, and you feed off of that. So you understand the band's mentality when an audience reacts. You know, it's just, they get an energy off of it. And especially this year, you really see it in shows because they've been, you know, locked up in quarantine for so long.
Yeah. The bands
Nobody's been to shows.
The public.
Yeah. So that's been cool.
Do you remember we did a show at Irvine Meadows that was called Livestock? And this is again, this is just one of this, just, you know, there's every once in a while, there's somebody or there's something that happens and there's just shit that happens.
Drama.
So it featured, I think Cheap Trick was the headliner.
Midnight Oil.
Okay. Good one. Thank you. Who else? There was 3 bands and 3 comedians. And basically the comedians ping-ponged in between the bands.
I know we had Carlos Mencia, I think.
And then there was Richard Lewis.
Yeah, Richard Lewis.
And you know what? Richard's, he's on Curb Your Enthusiasm if you haven't seen it. And I'm sure he'll be on the next season coming up. But sometimes we'll call them princesses.
Or princes.
Princes. But I don't want to degrade Prince.
Yeah, that's
by calling Richard
that's true.
Prince. So
that's true.
So a lot of times when there's shows, there's certain people, bands and things, there's these writers that we've talked about in the past, and the writers say, you know, we want this and this in our dressing room. We want this and this. So anyway, I think one of Richard's was a certain kind of limousine. So we got Richard the limousine. And he gets down there and then he won't come out of the limousine. And we're like, well, what's the problem? He's like, well, he wants his check handed to him the minute he gets out of the limousine for performing. And the check wasn't ready. I mean, the check was being written backstage, you know, by the promoter. It was our show, but the promoter was writing the check is basically how it happened. And it was just one of these drama things where it's getting close for him to go on stage and the check isn't ready. And normally they get it when they walk off stage. Well, normally it's just all pre-set up, but he was just one of these ones that just had to have it. Like literally he was supposed to have it when he walked off stage and he was demanding it before he got on stage. So it was just one of these things where we're in the middle, you know, where the show's going, the timer's timing and he's about to go on stage and he just waited and we got the check to him. And everything turned out. And as soon as he was done, he got in the limo, went home, and he went and spent his money on some crap.
It wasn't that funny. It wasn't worth all that hassle.
You could totally tell he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Even though we paid him whatever we paid him.
Yeah, I think he got comedian headliner.
Yeah.
At that time, which was, pretty decent.
He got way more than you would get in a club, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So,
and Carlos Mencia, meanwhile, was great and awesome and just, had the crowd laughing.
Yeah. Carlos was very funny. Richard?
Yeah.
Sorry, Richard. Whatever you do.
There's, like usually one in every crowd that's kind of like that. A lot of the backstages are, like I've been fortunate enough to be at the meet and greets for the Rolling Stones for several of those.
You're lucky.
I am so lucky. I know. I'm so blessed and lucky and thankful and grateful. But yeah, the fact that, it's the Stones, and it's like, oh my God, it's the Rolling Stones. It's like fucking Rolling Stones. It's like, there's Mick, there's Keith, Charlie. And it's, but I don't know how many of those I went to, probably 4 or 5 when they were doing
just the Stones. I didn't get to any with the Stones.
Yeah. Just with the Stones. Yeah. So, I mean, that was great.
That's impressive.
I know there was a time that we were doing something at Dodger Stadium. I think it was Eric Clapton and Elton John. And, Joe Benson and I got to interview Elton. It was just like, Elton doesn't do interviews.
No, he does not.
But this was at a time when I think Robert Hilburn and the LA Times had just done this, really gut-wrenching story of where Elton was at that point in his life. And he was, if you've seen the movie Rocket Man or read his book, then you know that all the trials and tribulations that he went through. But he was, getting sober and enjoying that process. And one part of the article, it was just like, it talked about his shirt that he was wearing when he was being interviewed. And, he had just hadn't changed his shirt for days. And, there might have been blood on there from snorting too much cocaine or something like that, or throwing up and stuff. But, it's for these guys, some of them, I mean, it's, I always try to think of the psychology of the artist, because most of them are actually pretty shy. It's like, Springsteen said something in his book about, he's like driving in a car, but when he's driving this car, it's like all the people he was throughout all the stages of life were in that car with him, like the 6-year-old, like the 13-year-old, like the 20-year-old, and it's like you carry these characters, I guess, in a way, and you try to protect them. That's why some artists are so protective of not seeing anybody because of, various things that have gone on. Then you get around somebody like Sammy Hagar, and it's like, it's like, it's just a party.
Keep
people.
The party going.
It's just a party.
The party's going down with Sammy.
Oh, Sammy's
and
the
Michael.
best at that. Yeah, and Michael. Yeah, Sammy and Michael are the best at that. So, Van Halen tours backstage were kind of fun sometimes, kind of not fun sometimes either. But it's you really have to think of the individual, and it's like, oh my God, town to town, day after day, it's another city, it's another group of people that are coming in here. I don't think that they really do much of that stuff anymore, all the meet and greets, unless...
I was going to say that one of the, back when, I first started, which was the early 80s, part of the promotions, part of the ticket giveaways, we always asked for the world, because what's the worst that could happen? They say no. So we'd send a proposal. We'd say we want to give away X amount of tickets. This is the way we're going to do it. Here's the value. On top of it, we want to do something really special. And so, we'd ask for a meet and greet with Bruce Springsteen or something, or we would ask to permission to get Bruce's name on a bumper sticker and hand out the bumper stickers at the show or something like that. Nowadays, it seems like those kind of things are what they sell as the upcharge on all these shows. So if you want to go meet Kiss, that's an extra $5,000 a person, and you get to go backstage and you get to get a photo with the drum set while it's on stage, and you get to meet the guys and all that kind of stuff. I was remembering a couple of those that we actually did. One of them was a great one with the Universal Amphitheater when that was built, which is in Universal City, and it was with the Scorpions. The band allowed us, like every ticket winner, we probably had 50 or 60 tickets, so that'd be 25 or 30 pair, but everybody got to go to the sound check. And so we've got everybody there like at 3:00 in the afternoon, which is way before anything, happens, but that's when the band goes on. And they got to watch them, just practice and rehearse for 30 minutes. And then the guys were really cool. They came off the stage, they came down to the audience, and they just all spread out. And everybody got, a few minutes just to walk up to them, say hi, get an autograph or whatever you want like that. I was thinking about that one was really cool. But then flip side is sometimes we always had a disclaimer when there was a meet and greet or something like that, because you never knew if somebody's going to be in a bad mood or something happened like that. But I know there was one with The Who and again, amazingly, these are all at Long Beach Arena, which we didn't really do that many at Long Beach Arena, that many shows. But the ones that are coming up are all from the arena. But it was supposed to be a meet and greet with one of the guys, which basically was
Roger or Pete.
Yeah, exactly. And so we've got all these winners. There was probably 30 winners backstage, and the manager comes out to me and says they can't do it. And I'm just like, and this is one of these ones where now I'm in the position of, this is just horrible. Because you know what, as a fan, as being a fan and wanting this more than anything else, and for most people in this world, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And then to be there and have to drop the bomb that this isn't going to happen is the worst feeling in the world, because you feel like, you gave away a prize and now the prize isn't going to happen. But so I basically, and I'm in charge of all these people, so I'm going to be the bad guy that has to do this. But I went over back to the man. I said, you guys, everybody sit tight right here. Don't go anywhere. And I think there was a couple other station people, so they could, wrangle the people, make sure, everybody didn't scatter. And I went to the manager. I'm like, 30 seconds. Just give me 30 seconds, with Roger or something, just to come out, say hi, thanks for coming, that kind of thing. He went back in about 15 minutes. Well, it's probably longer than that because everything takes forever backstage. But he comes back and he says, okay, he's coming out. So he came out, and we put everybody it's like on a stairwell. So we put everybody on the stairs. Roger came to the bottom of the stairs. He said hi. I can't remember, and it was never good with photos, but I think he then turned around and everybody was in back and we snapped a photo, and then that was it. And it was all literally within 30 seconds. But at least
you got something.
At least that was that connection, because it's so heartbreaking to have somebody
promise and then not.
Well, they promise it, and I know things happen. I know stuff happens. I know they get sick and they still have to perform, but there's times they don't want to do it. It's just, you hate to disappoint them. So anyway, that one turned out. There's been other times there's also been times where winners haven't showed up either. And there was times I just grabbed somebody from the radio station and make them the winner, and like, here, you want to go meet Rush or something like that? So because they just didn't do it.
Rush was always great with the meet and greets and, with the fans and the audience, because Los Angeles was always one of their best markets. And they were always very thankful for all the promotion that
Getty and Alex
for them.
But I never met
Neil. Yeah,
I never met Neil.
Really shy. Like I said, that's the one time at the Pacific Amphitheater that I saw him at one of these, and it was just like he was over in the corner, and I just it's like, wow, and after that, I think he scattered.
Yeah, got on his motorcycle, rode up the coast, and that was the end.
And that was but just an amazing human being. I've met him like several times, and rest in peace for him. And one of the greatest drummers.
Yeah.
I was thinking also about some of the other great shows that we did, like for Mark and Brian at the Key Club. I mean, here you're talking, the band is going to perform like at 9:00 in the morning. So they've got to be there like at 6, set up, or before 6, because I'm sure you guys in the promotion department, engineering, were there before that, or whether it was a Christmas show. But, we had some pretty big names. I mean, we had the Scorpions at the Key Club. We had Bon Jovi at the Key Club.
Def Leppard.
Def Leppard. Oh, yeah, Def Leppard. Yeah. It's like.
The Doors at House of Blues. That was when Ian Astbury was with the band for that one tour. Yeah, there was some great show. But yeah, it is hard for them to get up that early and play and be on key and be able to sing and play like that. But you know what? Got them a lot of publicity, and we'd fill up the club. Even, with 700
Oh.
people at
And
6 in the
what a great time
morning.
for those people. Yeah, what a great time for those people.
Yeah.
That, if they, I'm sure got off work or did whatever that they had to do to be there, because that was really, really special. And it's just, you just think, how does a person have that vocal ability at that time in the morning? It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. So, the other thing, Reitz, we're going to briefly talk about is, Rita and I decided to bring a couple albums that we've got signed that we had stories behind, and so we're going to post the albums on the website on our page. Why don't you go first and tell us one of the great times you got something signed?
There was a time,
or you can say a shitty time for all I care.
Okay, yeah, no, there was one time in San Francisco. There was a radio convention. And the station had done really well. So I was up there for all of that, and AC/DC was playing, and it was like, heck yeah, man, let's go. And then it was like, I remember partying with them after the show and then getting like the program guide signed and stuff like that. But it was just, just fun, just laughing and hanging around those kind of people.
Was this like one of the conventions?
It was actually a show, but it had nothing to do with the convention. It was just timing. So that was really cool. Sometimes some things were just not planned. I don't know if I told this story or not, but Survival Sunday, it was like this big thing at the Hollywood Bowl, just about everybody was there. Crosby, Stills and Nash were playing, and all Bob Dylan, all these kind of people, and the speculation that Bruce was going to show up there. So I'd gone with somebody from the newsroom at KEZY, to help me carry my equipment and stuff. And somehow got backstage. And the backstory on this is kind of sad, but one of our friends that had worked there who was going to the show was involved in a car accident the night before that, and his girlfriend died. And it was like, we just wanted to get something signed by Bruce to lift his spirits. So just somehow, some way, I just walked like I knew where I was going. And I turned my head in this little tiny room is Bruce Springsteen and his girlfriend at the time, and Jackson Browne with his girlfriend at the time. And I just said, I'm sorry, guys. I just have this special request. So we just had a friend that was in an accident. His girlfriend died. We just want to be able to cheer him up. Could you sign this? So it was the Survival Sunday program guide. And they both did, and it was just like,
wow.
Pretty cool.
I didn't even know about the show. When was that? In the 70s?
No, that was in the 80s. I forget. Yeah, but it was a really good show. Really good show. I enjoyed that. And, I was always a Bruce freak. And so that was like the first time I think I had met him. But I had other people, I was always like a Springsteen freak on the air. And it was like, I remember one time a listener sent me this note with his signature. And it's like, hey, hey, Rita, thanks, Bruce Springsteen. And on the side, thanks for playing my records, and it was just like a listener saw him at an airport and thought to get that signed for me. I was very, very
legit?
touched by that. It was very legit.
That's
very
really
legit.
Cool.
Oh, it was,
because anytime, Bruce is not easy to get hold of. First off, and you can find autographs out there. There's a lot that are not legit. But the fact that somebody would get to Bruce and then not, maybe they got one for themselves too, but.
Yeah. But the thing is too, they'd never met me.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was like a DJ on their radio station. It was just like, I was so touched by that.
That's
like,
cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Very cool.
That's cool. All right. What else? Any others?
So what you got? What do you got? Let's see.
I was digging up kind of the weird stuff. Okay, this isn't
shocking.
This isn't necessarily rock and roll, although it is vinyl. This is
wow.
This is an Westwood One interview vinyl disc with Stephen King, and I had heard that Stephen King was going to be, and my wife is like a Stephen King freak. She loves the books and the stories and some of the movies. But he was doing a lecture up at the Pasadena library or something. And so I drove up there like at 2 a.m, got in line and got 2 tickets. And then they said that he was going to do a signing afterwards. So I got this album signed by him.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And then what else? Okay, so and then every once in a while you get an autograph you may not appreciate as much, but this is my Fleetwood Mac Rumors album.
Oh my God.
And it's
Stevie.
So it's Stevie, it's Christine, it's Mick Fleetwood. But this was the time that Lindsay and was it John had left the band?
I know Lindsay for sure.
So and it's when Billy Burnett and Rick Soto, was it Rick Soto?
Yeah.
And
Rick Soto.
And so they were in the band and the whole band was on Rockline. And it was my Rumors album. And I love Rick and I love Billy, but they signed my Rumors album and they didn't play on the album. And so it was really kind of disappointing when I got it back. I'm like, oh, you guys, okay, well, that was kind of nice. And then this is my piece of Resistance. You might recognize the cover from the wall.
Oh.
And this is the one.
So classic, man.
This is the one that was signed. So it's signed by Nick Mason, the drummer for Pink Floyd, and it's the inside of the album where you open it up and it's the gatefold sleeve and in big, thick silver magic marker. It's 2CW Roger Waters, and then this is right after they broke up, and then David Gilmour comes in with his blue Sharpie, his blue pen, and he scribbles out Roger Waters' name in the he just crosses it out and then he signs, I think, with another blue marker, David Gilmour on it.
Signed at a different place. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. That's too funny.
So it's just rock stars being rock stars.
Yeah. I got one from Rockline that I know you met the individual because you were working there, but I had never met the individual.
Who was it?
And it was right around my birthday.
Who did you I'm trying to remember who you hosted, because I remember you hosted a few shows.
No, I wasn't hosting. I wasn't even there.
Oh.
But Bob Coburn got me this special Japanese CD signed by George Harrison. And it was like, oh my God, BC, that's like, one of the kindest things anybody's ever done for me. I mean, it was just, as I respected the hell out of Bob, and then also the fact that he did that, and then to have George Harrison sign it.
I did bring my George Harrison.
Oh, you bastard, you!
I did bring my George Harrison here because that's also one of my very, very favorites, and that was such a great show. And if you haven't heard, look at the previous episodes or listen to the Mark Felsot episode where he talks about George Harrison coming into Rockline, because it is really it's really a fun story, and it was one of those ones I was there, but Mark tells the story much better than I do. So give it a listen. But
somebody in New York got Bruce's signature when it was like my 20th anniversary at KLOS. It was like The Rising had come out, and they had him sign the single. He said, "Happy 20th, Rita." Bruce Springsteen. It was like, oh my God, that's just so crazy.
Well, you met him with me we got to go to the taping
the Unplugged
of the Unplugged, MTV's Unplugged show up in Hollywood.
Yeah.
We were there.
I'm not in the picture with you. I'm in the picture with...
I didn't get a picture.
Nicole.
Because you could either have a picture or you could have an autograph. And I went with the autograph because I felt like the autograph would be more valuable than me sitting in a picture. Because nobody wants my...
And Lori Nikoloff was in that too. So
yes.
Yeah, it's just like the three of us with Bruce. And that was great. And I did get in on the sign too. So.
You did? I should have been in the picture then.
Yeah, you should have.
Ruin it for you girls.
Yeah.
So...
But that was very, very special. Again, the things that I guess are gifted from other people, or, like a lot of times when people were in the station, like with Jim Ladd's living room, I'd say, "Hey man, can, you get the sign for me?" And like, Slash drew this caricature, and, it's like, "Rita, you fucking rock."
Oh, nice.
Slash, so I've got that on the guitar, and, those things are just, special to me. Tom Petty signed one for me. He goes, play with this rock guitar, Rita. You'll do good.
That's nice. So, that's so cool. It's nice. And like we've said in the past, we're very blessed for the opportunities we had, and, opportunities we still get every once in a while. So, it's just one of those things that was, go down in our history books. It'll go down in go to us with our grave. So if we die, I would start looking on eBay because I'm sure our family members will be hawking our loot. So keep your eye out on the Long Beach Press Telegram and the obituary section.
No. Take it back.
Okay.
Take it back. Yeah. So no, I'm just, I'm just constantly saying I'm blessed and grateful. And I really honestly am. I mean, I've had, experiences that, I could only dream about, only dream about.
You going to write your book soon?
Nah. I got to go one more quick one.
Okay.
Neil Young at
I never met Neil.
Listening party.
What was it for?
A listening party. So it was like in somewhere at Warner Brothers Records.
So that's where you go. They invite. What were you, music director then?
I think I was, yeah. And so it was just like, just a few people, I think. And the same thing with the Van Halen album, but the Neil Young was so interesting because he was there with his manager. They're just smoking pot. They're just like smoking pot, the whole time. And so you're getting this contact high, I don't know if they ever offered.
Were they,
it,
did they pass it around?
I'm not a pot smoker. I can't smoke pot, but
it wasn't like John Scott where they show up at Tom Petty's house, and you can listen to that episode too. Look for the John Scott episode where they did a promotion at Tom Petty's house, and I think they were passing the pot all around to all the people that showed up.
Yeah. Good old days. Of course, that's, like 70s, 80s,
back
90s.
Yeah.
People don't really do that much these days anymore.
That we know.
And that's good. That we know.
Right. All right. Let's call it quits for now, Reeds. What do you say?
I say good one. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks everybody for listening. And we got still some great interviews lined up. We're just waiting to take care of them. So hopefully next time we chat soon, we will have a brand new interview with somebody very exciting. I know we have some exciting ones coming up.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We just got one inked yesterday. So look for those soon. So
yay.
Thanks again. And until next time, peace out, everybody. Take care.